be discussing tactics of the Mirror Twins. Bob, the lefty, Mike, the right-hander, and that's about the only way you can distinguish this pair from this distance. Identically dressed in white t-shirts, white baseball caps, and dark shorts. Dom Inglot ready to receive the opening Bryan serve, which is cracked into the top of the net. We're underway then here on 5 Live Sports Extra. Great Britain leading United States 2-0. Backhand to Bryan. Inglot hits the net. Huge roar of appreciation from the Partizan crowd here in San Diego. Bryan then. Colin Fleming, it has the first feel of ball on string. Forehand from Fleming, backhand volley from Bryan. And now the attempted lob from Fleming does well to pick up the very low volley off his shoelaces. But Fleming now responds back after a successful lob which landed just inside the baseline. Easy inside for Mike Bryan. And it's 30 last for the home team.
Yeah, they established themselves well at the net, but then they brought Bob into the net, and you can see right off the bat how important that lob is on clay.
30 love then. Receiving again. First serve from Bob Bryan is netted. Lots of blue sky overhead today. Backhand return from Inglot. Hits the net post, so 3 straight points for the Americans. Confident start from the red-hot favourites today. The most successful doubles pairing, remember, of all time. Chalked up their 800th victory last year. Extraordinary stat. 13 times. One Grand Slam. Forehand from Fleming. Inglot comes up with the first point for Great Britain with a sharp volley at the net. So 40-15. 15 Grand Slam titles for the Bryans, 6 in Australia, 3 at Wimbledon, 4 at the u.s.a, and 2 at the French Open. The training French Open champions on the red dirt, and they closed out the opening game for 15. So an authoritative beginning for the Bryan brothers. They have the first game on the board.
So another thing is you have to point out about the Bryan brothers, there are 2 bodies out there, but they're only using 1 brain. Okay, they were virtually Siamese twins coming out of the box, and they were attached at the hip their entire lives. They love hanging out together, and they move without each other even knowing what's going on out there. They're covering. They know what the other bro's going to hit before he even hits it. And that's what makes them such a great team. So Fleming and Inglot are going to have to communicate better than they've ever communicated in doubles to pull off a victory.
Dom Inglot then from the far end, who begins Britain's opening service game. First serve is netted, yes, just 3 minutes apart. The Bryan brothers won a real telepathy between them, and Inglot serves a double fault. It's an auspicious start. The man who was initially reserved, and of course called into the team for this very purpose. Played into doubles. I expect he was a little surprised to learn that he would be playing today. But most of the money on Andy Murray taking his place, but it's a nervy beginning for Dom Inglot. He's back-to-back double faults.
No bueno.
Inglot Fleming talk tactics then, but first thing Britain's got to do is get the ball in play. He does so this time. Backhand return. Lands mid-court. Inglot over the overhead, but jumps it into the net. And a lot of nerves on display at the moment, Jeff, from the Britons.
Yeah, perfect lob there by Bob, stretching out that backhand side for the return and getting the perfect bunt up into the alley. And on the clay, it's tough to maneuver that footwork.
3 break points then to Bryan, but that's a much better serve from Inglot.
You can start with that.
Does have a big delivery, this Inglot. Fighting that he uses that to full effect. But 15-40 down. first serve is netted on this occasion. So a big chance for the Bryan brothers to get the break. Interesting night for Great Britain indeed, yes, with victory in both singles on the opening day, which means, of course, they only need one more win from the remaining 3 matches to claim their place in the quarterfinals of the Davis Cup for the first time since 1986. The doubles underway here, and the news is that Curry is not playing in it today. He is resting up the tomorrow's reverse singles against Sam Curry, which means that Dom Inglot takes his place alongside Colin Fleming. But they hadn't made the best of start. Inglot has served back-to-back double faults, which had just been broken by the legendary Bryan brothers, the most successful doubles pairing in history. So it's 2-love to the Bryans in the early stages of this doubles match on the second day of the Davis Cup in San Diego. So our 5 Live listeners just joining us for an update there in the early stages of our doubles match back here on Sports Extra. The perfect start from America then with the early break. That's Mike Bryan serving from the near end. Blocks the Fleming is wide. The crowd warming to the occasion here. Anxious to see their home favourites now to fight back. It's been done before, many times. It's a full order. Bryan simply have to produce the business today. Rat-a-tat, volley exchange for the first time. Again, the Bryans emerge the victors. All one-way traffic so far, Jeff.
You know, just placing the ball really well for all first serves so far, and haven't missed a first volley.
Mike serving Colin Fleming. Now that's clean 8. Out of the backhand of the Britain, but the angle too acute. And that's a love hold, and it couldn't have been a more emphatic start from the reigning Wimbledon Australian Open champions. The Bryans lead 3-love with a break in the first set. Carnival atmosphere inside the stadium. The orchestra are already entertaining the crowd as they did throughout yesterday's opening day here. Good to see the sun as well. The first day decidedly chilly and overcast, leaden skies throughout the day, which is the nearest hint of blue sky, but today it's pretty much all blue with just a few white fluffy clouds dotted overhead. So a little warmer, the perfect conditions for tennis. And I guess it's no surprise, Jeff, is it, to see Dom Inglot really feeling some butterflies in the stomach in the early stages. This is a big occasion for him, and I'm guessing that he wouldn't have expected to be playing today.
Yeah, and you know, I think you almost have to chalk that up as, you know, that's the way it goes when you're playing Davis Cup, and look to start anew and just get things going for himself. They're not out of this match. 3 out of 5 sets. So giving up a set because you were nervous is maybe better for you, because you saw with Ward, he was so nervous to start off, but then at the end he played better tennis than he's ever played, and he's going to get some peaks and valleys in this match. It's just, they have to stay together as a team. The Bryan brothers are going to stay together as a team, and that makes it so good.
Yes, James Ward losing the opening set to Quarry yesterday, 6-1 in early 20 minutes, but how he turned things around. But we'll be hoping for a similar response. A good opening serve from Fleming, and it's Inglot who picks off the volley at the net with the first point.
You see there the forehand return from Bob Bryan, just not quite as good as that backhand return that he produced in the first game.
So it's Mike Bryan receiving, Fleming serving in the ad court, out wide to the backhand of Mike Bryan, and what a return it was. He had to stretch every sinew to get there, but timed it perfectly, down the line for a winner.
So you're going to stay away from the backhand side of these guys, but that time Fleming slipped a little bit. He served, he was supposed to cover the line, but his first step he slipped, so he couldn't get over to the ball.
15-all. Fleming now serving for Bob Bryan. Backhand return. Volley down the centre from Inglot. Good enough for 30-15. Discussion of a tactical nature between Fleming and Inglot before Inglot crouches low below the net, swiveling his racket, landing with a high ball toss, forehand return, it's netted. So a couple of game points for Britain to get their opening game on the board here on this doubles rubber. 20 past noon local time, 20 past 8 back with you in the UK. Britain, remember, one victory away from a slice of Davis Cup history. First serve down the centre from Fleming as well long. Crowd hush for the moment. Bryan's up on the ball with their feet. Second backhand return. But forehand volley is the winner from Inglot, and that was a confident ball. Britain have their opening game on the board, but it's Bryan's with the break. They lead 3-1.
Yeah, Fleming probably should have started serving. He's more experienced, has some better accolades. Inglot is, I think, overall a better doubles player, but you got to go with the experience first. And they didn't. They went with the bigger server. And on clay, I'm not sure the bigger server really matters.
And to serve then, block with that from Inglot, fails to clear the net. And Bryan not under any threat on their serve in the early stages at least. Just remember, their least favourite surface. It's the one they've had the least success on down the years. They have won the French Open twice, but they are reigning champions of Roland Garros, and that's a pretty emphatic put away from Mike Bryan in the centre of the court. The overhead swatted away. So in no time at all, 30 love. Bob Bryan serving for the forehand of Dom Inglot, and try as he might, stretching out to his right-hand side, he can't lay a racket on it. It's another clean ace from the Americans. Impressive start from this vastly experienced double pairing, and there's another ace down the centre. Back-to-back aces, and that game was over in barely 60 seconds of play. It's another love hold, and it's 4-1 for the Bryans. That's set. Well, as Courier said before the match, Jeff, you've got to start somewhere. It was a hugely disappointing opening day for America, but so far, so much better today.
Yeah, well, the Bryan brothers to do that. They can start, they can get on a roll. They're one of the best teams out there, and have had the longest successes. I mean, they're the best doubles team of all time. And Courier has them on the team, but against a team where you're playing against a singles player like Annie Murray, I just think there was a little room to go with 4 singles players, and that's the problem with American tennis these days. They don't even have 4 singles players. I mean, they really have 5 guys in the top 100 in the world. So it's a little bit of a problem these days for American tennis, and they've got to get some original thinking going if they want a challenge to win a Davis Cup title.
Yeah, I mean, on the one hand, as you say, it's great to have the best ever doubles pairing, arguably, but on the other hand, it limits your flexibility in terms of your options for the singles. If you've got a specialist doubles pairing, you don't play singles.
Yeah, it's tough, you know. Jay Berger, his coach, very similar styles to Courier. They think the same way, and that's why he picked him. But I think you have to have an assistant coach that challenges the idea, makes you think about positioning.
It's working at least for the moment for America, because they've only been playing 13 minutes already. A couple of games from snaffling this opening set. Dom Inglot serving for Great Britain from the far end of this makeshift clay court. Love 15, 4 down. Just a single break, but it's been a one-way show thus far. Doubles rubber well up the way, and the backhand volley for Inglot not well controlled. He sprays it wide. I don't think the big man has settled it yet.
And there you saw Bob give a little fake to the middle of the court, and Inglot went the down the line volley, low percentage shot, but again to the strength of Bob.
Well, 30 then. Big trouble in this opening set. 1-4 down, now 30 down, and Inglot misses his first serve. Bryan receiving. He comes up with a big ace. That's better. That'll give him a bit of confidence. Vital that Inglot holds serve here. This first set isn't to disappear in a blink of an eye. Once again, a quick tactical chat, and now Fleming is crouched low below the level of the net. Inglot thrashes his first serve into the net. So, second serve. Mike Bryan to attack potentially here. Backhand return down the line. And it's in. Off the baseline.
Lob down the line.
2 more break points. The 5-1 lead. Virtual set points, you would think.
Taking that backhand return from Mike Bryan. Just a perfect lob.
Gets his first serve in this time, and that allows Fleming to swat away the easiest of overheads. The ball barely clearing the net. So one of the break points saved. 30-40, Inglot serving from the ad court. To the forehand of Mike Bryan, who can't control the pace of that one. It flies off his strings. 2 straight points for Inglot. Break point save. So back to Deuce. An even bigger crowd already, arguably, than we had in the first day. The Americans still very involved in this tie. They believe things can be turned around. The Bryan looking overhead from Fleming.
The Bryan brothers sell tickets. They just signed a contract with a new World Team Tennis team here in San Diego called the Aviators. And they're excited. They sell tickets. They're going to sell 6,000 tickets a night at the sports arena here. Californians, they get some big support in California.
It's very much in evidence today. Second serve, a game point for England. Won 3 straight points. And that was an excellent exchange at the net there. Fleming having to play the second volley after a tremendous reaction volley from Bob Bryan. But the second one got it done, and that was a good hold for Dom Inglot, Russell, because at 16-40, it was looking for all the world as though we were looking at a double break in this first set, having already gone. But he's held on, that will give him a bit of confidence.
Yes, it was a horror first game, wasn't it? He served the 2 double faults and missed the smash and missed the volley as well. But we have seen indications that if that serve can start firing soon, it could do an enormous amount of damage.
Yes, we saw when Inglot did land the serve, how easy it was for Fleming to step in and put away the easy first volley. Makes such a difference when you can get that first serve percentage ultimately. Inglot, backhand service return, floats long from Inglot. But Bryan's underway in another service game here. 4-2, 15 love.
Playing well, aren't they, the Bryans? Serving superbly, returning brilliantly.
I don't think they've missed a first serve yet.
Bob Bryan serving. The ad-court once again finds his range with his first delivery. Too hot for Fleming to handle.
They're just so solid as a team. You can see how they just cover so much court for their opponent.
Well, when you've got the lefty and a righty on the same side, you've got so much more leverage across the court, Jeff.
Yeah, you can just well, the first serve missed by Mike Bryan comes with a double fault, though.
First error they've really made in the match so far. Unlikely to be too costly, however. 30-15 on the Bob Bryan side. Backhand volley, and then another backhand volley, a defensive lob there from Fleming. Mike Bryan lets it bounce, hits the smash down the centre of the court, but Inglot gets it back, and the rally continues. The longest of the match so far. Backhand volley from Fleming. Forehand from Mike Bryan. There's another forehand. Fleming with the forehand volley, and that's the winner. And that was a terrific exchange, the best by a distance that we've seen, and Brit came out on top, and it's 30-all.
That was an exciting lot going on there. Good lob side, just great to capitalize on it at the net.
So a chink of light here for Britain to break back, and remember they're only a single break of serve behind after the previous service game. First serve from Mike Bryan is hitting the top of the tape, so we'll have another one. And the 2 brothers confer for a moment at the baseline.
Look for a wide serve here from Mike, and look for Bob to try to help out at the net, maybe poach.
Backhand return from Inglot, and then a lovely angle, volley winner from Bob Bryan. Good response to losing a couple of points in a row. They've had no pressure on their serve to this point. And came up with a big serve when he needed it. So Mike Bryan looking to close this game out 40-30. Right into the body of Fleming. Had to support himself to get it back, but a forehand follow-up from Mike Bryan. And they've held on, and they're a game away from clinching this opening set. The Bryan brothers leading by 5-2 in the San Diego sunshine here on sideline. Fourth extra.
Well, it's a great atmosphere, isn't it?
Terrific atmosphere. Not many seats available now here in Petco Park. The crowd really getting involved here. Keenly aware, I'm sure, that the Americans need all the support they can possibly get. Our sideline listeners will be joining us very shortly for an update with Russell as the players prepare to change ends and take a breather on the other side of the court.
Here in San Diego, Great Britain's Davis Cup tennis team are trying to reach the quarterfinals of the World Group for the first time in virtually living memory, but in the doubles they are trailing. Colin Fleming and Dom Inglot 5-2 down to the Bryan brothers, first set.
So the giant scoreboard out to our left-hand side plays the message, let's go Bryans. Before this tie got underway, they said they were ready for a war in the dirt, and they're going to need those sort of battling instincts, aren't they, the Americans, if they're going to turn this tie around after a very disappointing opening day when it was all about Great Britain's success in the two singles matches. It's Colin Fleming who's going to be serving with new balls then, as Britain bid to save this opening set. 2-5 down, Fleming from the near end as we look at our commentary position. Backhand lob from Fleming. Oh, it was a play, but I think it's just long. Disguised backhand lob, but just a little bit too much on it, Jeff.
Yeah, it was a good opening lob there by Bob, and Fleming realized that this lob was going to be an important part, trying to give it right back to say, oh, I got some of that, but he missed it by half inch. It was a well-hit ball.
Up 15 then, 2-5. Fleming serving. Sunshine. Right on the line. Turn is off.
The Bryans don't want to try to break here because they want to start the second set serving. They don't want to start from behind, give the British momentum to start the second set.
Once again, a little conference between Fleming and Inglot. He's now crouched down over the net. First serve is in again from Fleming. Forehand return. He's at net. Backhand volley from Fleming, and then a forehand volley from angle. Inglot comes up with a backhand winner down the centre of the court. Another fine exchange, and again, Britain emerged triumphant on that occasion.
Well, last man got into that short ball, didn't he? What a great angle. He hit out into the alley. And Inglot, very smart play in the middle because Bob was covering his bro. Don't leave your wingman.
A couple of top guns out there right now. Fleming serving long. 30-15. I think it's forced the Bryans to serve it out here. Colin Fleming to Mike Bryan. Return from Mike Bryan. Backhand volley from Fleming. Bryan throws up the lob. Inglot tries to get there, but the ball is off the top of the frame and squirts behind him. And it's 30-all.
Fleming hit a perfect volley there. Inglot committed way too early, got right on top of the net, and Mike saw that coming. Another perfect lob by the Bryan brothers.
Big point here then at 30-all. 2-5. Fleming serving. On the G-score. So the Bryans smell blood here. Chance to put some pressure on the Fleming second serve. Bounce move to set point. And return. Forehand angle volley from Fleming. Backhand winner from the Bryans once again.
Well, Wayne Bryan said it best tonight. I said, why do you have both your sons playing one-handed backhand in this day and age? This is so good 20 years ago. Because I want to see great doubles players. One-handers, classic tennis players. You can just see how good their one-handed backhands are.
Just 24 minutes to play. It's a set point. Fleming serving 30-40. First serve hits the top of the net, just lands in, so another first serve.
We never had them play against each other in competition growing up. One would give them one the tournament one week, and then the other one the next week. They both played in the finals so many times they didn't even want them to play against each other. They want them to stay close, tight-knit.
I mean, this is his second attempt at the first serve. He's got to land this one, otherwise the set is gone. High ball toss. Oh, it's long, it's a double fault, and it's a very disappointing way for Britain to give up the opening set to the Bryan brothers, who in truth have outclassed their opponents in that 25-minute opener. With 2 breaks for the British serve, they've looked sharp from the off. They're in the mood to get America back in this tie, and they've taken that opening set by 6 games to 2.
I think it's all good. We're up here high in the airwaves.
It's good to hear. So Bob Bryan will get this second set underway. The Bryan's in control at the moment, having taken the first set 6-2. It's Bob playing the overhead. Nice little volley from Colin Fleming to win the opening point against the serve.
Well, Bob had a sitter there. He could have put away and tried to play up the middle. Great reactions by the British team right off the bat here.
We were told by some of our colleagues in television that it was affecting other broadcasts. Initially they said, we've had such a force it might be serving the play. And that's the serve that Colin Fleming cannot return. But I think they were just being polite. It was their way of saying, boy, mate, you're interrupting our broadcast.
Yeah, they were trying to starve us, we call it.
We can't afford Philip Starr was the subtext. Having our notes in it, just because you've got him and we haven't. 15 all. Bright sunshine here, with Bob Bryan serving a double fault. The Brits started nervously in the first set. Dom Inglot serving 2 double faults in his first 2 points in Davis Cup. And it's the Americans who've made the more tense start to this second set. Bob is the left-handed twin. He's serving to Fleming. He puts the backhand into the net. All. Dom Inglot with his left foot in front of his right foot to receive serve. Watches that first delivery land a few inches over the service line. Serve at 30 all. Inglot's backhand returning to the net. Well, it would be fascinating to see what would happen if Inglot and Fleming could get themselves in front in this match. It is a deadly serve, Inglot. If he can fire a good first serve from Bob Bryan. Now he's playing the backhand, and Inglot tries to take the volley, puts it into the net, and the Bryans hold on. They take their opening service game of the second set to 30.
Well, it was a perfect lob there by Fleming, and Inglot stepped in front of Fleming to go for a backhand volley. Fleming had a forehand volley. That's one of my pet peeves right now. You're lunging and you hit a backhand volley with your opponent staying right behind you, ready to hit a perfect forehand volley. To me, that's a fundamental mistake in doubles that players at this level cannot afford to make.
It looked the wrong call on this occasion, didn't it? And that is going to be the problem with these two. They have practiced together more and more as part of the British team, I suppose, in the last year or so, but they've still got very little experience. Inglot wins the first point. We dropped the line very briefly there, so apologies for that. Slight hitch here in San Diego. Dom Inglot has moved serenely to 40 love on serve here and looking more and more comfortable by the moment. Putting a first serve there into the net after the Bryans took the opening game of the second set and the first set by 6 games to 2. 40 love and another of those double faults. And there have been too many of those from Inglot and from the British team so far, not only starting the match with 2 double faults but conceding the first set with a Fleming double fault.
And interesting that he's serving first again in this set.
Well, it's Britain's biggest weapon. He's 6'5" tall. It's a zippy surface. Fleming with a volley, a second volley, a backhand one and a forehand one to win the point and win the game for Great Britain.
Well, that time Fleming went in front of Inglot, who's going to hit a backhand volley, and he posts a stiff forehand volley. Great play by Fleming. He needs to captain this team. There needs to be a leader out there. You know, Bob is the leader on Bryan's team, but Makes kind of make a pause on the big point.
Mike serving it, Bob making the forehand volley. Colin Fleming has a fabulous Davis Cup record, only one defeat in doubles, and that was over 5 sets on his debut in 2009. It means he's won the other 8, and also his only singles match when he played in reverse singles in a dead rubber after the tie was already secure. Inglot, despite being the British #1 and 27 years of age, has never played in this environment before. He's playing against the best doubles partnership in the world. That was some return by Fleming, right down to the feet of Mike Bryan. He couldn't pick up the volley.
Do you like that tall order?
Tall order indeed. 6'5" Dom Inglot. Dom the Bomb Inglot. As he has been referred to. Mike Bryan with the first serve, Bob Bryan with the volley.
You see them run plays like a soccer team or a basketball team would run. The Bryan brothers are so organized. They have so many different plays over the years of success.
First service good. Fleming goes down the line. Inglot tries to bisect the Bryan brothers. A volley from Bob. A chance for Inglot to go down the middle. And this time the volley defence breaks down. Inglot fired that at the Bryans. I think they both put their racket out, but neither of them was able to make the return.
Well, there's a good chance for the British team to get a break point.
30 all on the Mike Bryan serve. First serve is good. Inglot with a forehand, a volley from Bob Bryan, who's playing the smash, which is a winner.
Yeah, the lob just not emphatic enough. He blocked it, didn't really try to do anything with it. The Bryan brothers are 6'3". You're not going to get a lob over them easily unless you hit it really well.
Game point. Bryan first, Fleming with a forehand return. It was a good return. Inglot intercepts, plays the high backhand volley. The volley exchange won. Right to Bryan to the net. Bob putting an angled backhand volley cross court to win the game.
Oh, fantastic point, but didn't get the scar, did he?
No, it was a fantastic point, and more encouraging signs as the band strikes up again. I think the point we were making was probably lost when we lost the line a couple of minutes ago, but very difficult, isn't it, for Jeff, for Colin Fleming and Dom Inglot to gel immediately. They have played very little, even in the way of practice, in each other's company, as Dom Inglot plays on tour with Trek Huey and Colin Fleming is now back with Ross Hutchins. They've never played a senior match together. We have discovered that they played juniors back in 2001, I think it was, and they reached the semi-finals of the ITF Corfu Junior Tournament. That's not great preparation for a Davis Cup tie.
Well, it was in 2001, but we're a little past that now. It's interesting. I think Davis Cup doubles need to go with a good team, not necessarily the two best players you have to play. That's part of the reason why Fleming was here, was to play with Murray, because they're a good team together. Inglot just trying to catch up. I think down the road, they will be a good team together, but they need to play together more if they're going to try to beat a team like this. But normally in Davis Cup, you don't have to beat a team this good in doubles.
2 good wins for Fleming and Inglot back in 2001. They beat Christopher Parker and Nicholas Stocker of Great Britain in the round of 16, and then in the quarterfinals they beat Eleftherios Christou of Cyprus and Michaelis Dikas of Greece before being beaten in straight sets in the semi-finals by Didio Giul and Alexandros Hieronymos of Greece. Whatever happened to them?
They're in the Where Are You Now file.
But they were big in Corfu in the summer of 2001. 2 games to 1. The advantage for the United States, but that was a nice stop volley at the net from Inglot to win the point. And to move 30 love ahead on the Colin Fleming serve. Always a brief whisper between the two as they decide exactly where Colin Fleming should be serving, and it works off the plan because the high return from Mike Bryan is cut off with easy put away from Inglot.
Inglot came through the U.S. college system. He was a student at the University of Virginia, studied finance there. And managed to pay his way through college. Sound financial move this, by being full Bethany's body double in the film Wimbledon. Fleming with a double fault.
I think Inglot there, he's standing in Fleming's way, and that's the problem you have when you have a team that hasn't played together. You got to mix these things around, and you got to tell him to get out of his hitting zone on his second serve. He's very tall. Fleming's not used to playing with someone that tall.
40-15. Fleming leads on his serve. Second serve coming up here as 5 lines are about to rejoin. It's volley from Inglot, gives him the point and gives Great Britain the game. So it is 2 games all in the second set. First set to the Bryan brothers, who served virtually perfectly and returned really well against the nervous Colin Fleming and Dom Inglot, playing for the first time together as a pair. Inglot making his Davis Cup debut, but they have settled down now. Inglot 6'5" tall, he has a mighty serve, starting to find his range, and it is 2 games all in the second set. Well, Bryan serving at 2-all, forehand return from Inglot under the cat, and Fleming twists to his right to try and make the cut-off volley, but puts it into the net.
Good idea. That's the best return Inglot's hit so far. He's starting to get his feet under him, starting to get more comfortable. Now they're going to play both fast. Just said beforehand, it's going to be a key to them.
15 love, there's a good first serve. Fleming really stretching to make the return, but he keeps the ball in play. Inglot's backhand is long. A little disappointing that, having clawed their way back into the rally. Bob Bryan serves, 8. Kicker serve, out of the reach of Inglot. Despite that impressive wingspan. So they're not getting much joy on the Bryan serve in this game, having put both of them under pressure in the first 2 games. 50 forehand return from Fleming. And it's a hole for love for the Bryans, who lead by a set to love and by 3 games to 2. So they have been rocked by recent defeats in Davis Cup, haven't they? Which is why you felt they were a little bit vulnerable here this week, Jeff. Losing in Florida to Melo and Suarez of Brazil from 2 sets to 1 up in the first round last year, aside from the United States won. And then that extraordinary doubles match, which I imagine you watched, didn't you? The match against Simonic and Wozniak of Serbia, which first one 15-13 in the decider.
Yeah, and again, it was a debut match for a Davis Cup player there. It's a very inexperienced, low-ranked doubles player playing with Simonic and the Bryan brothers lost that one. It just shows how if you can get the nerves going in Davis Cup play, it can be a big difference. Of course, that was an away match, and Serbia is one of the toughest places to play at, and it was indoors, fast court, things have to click.
But in Davis Cup, when they have played together as a pair on play in the doubles, they are 10-0, as they like to say. 10-0 on the dirt, and they also said they love to go to war on the dirt.
Well, that's what it is, isn't it? Every point you can see it's such a physical battle. And they feel like they have to mix it up, they have to get tough, and they have to get ready to get hit because they have to take chances on placement and things like that. And it's just the way it goes.
3 games to 2, the Bryan lead. Inglot is serving. Bob is going down the line with forehand. Nice volley. Nice stop volley from Inglot to win the point. Glorious day in San Diego. Glorious winter's day with temperatures of about 17 Celsius, but it feels a bit warmer than that in the sun, and virtually everybody in the crowd is in the sun. It cools down significantly from about 3 or 4 in the afternoon. It's just hit back by Mike Bryan straight at Inglot. Oh, he had a chance to put that away on the smash, but he got that up the frame of the racket.
Well, he looked down to see where Bob was standing. I think he wanted to hit it right in the chest with that overhead. And just taking the guy off the ball for a second and mishit it.
15-all. Inglot serving to Bryan. Ball shadows cast on the floor. Forehand return from Bryan and a nice volley cut off by Fleming. So just signs this partnership is starting to gel a little bit more understanding as they get an idea of exactly what they need to do to unsettle the Bryans. Inglot thrashes a first serve into the net. Quarter-finalist in the Australian Open with Trent Huey. Quarter-finalist in the U.S. Open last September too. The return is cut off again by Fleming, who's really pouncing on these high returns by putting away the volleys at the net.
Very good forehand volley Fleming has. So compact. Very nice technique. Moves forward well.
14-15. Bryan on strike in this baseball stadium at Petco Park. 8,000-seater stadium and a clay court hastily put together for this tie. There's a wonderful return. Wonderful forehand winner from Bryan.
Well, you see the Bryan brothers making signals and calls on their return points. They want to get a break. They're very intent on a break. And they're willing to take some chances and design plays based on what they feel like is going to happen on second serves.
Game point still for Inglot. He's playing the backhand volley. Well played there by Bryan, who just hit the ball straight to Colin Fleming. They could only retake evasive action. Best atmosphere of the week. Biggest crowd in the United States in the ascendancy in this doubles, looking for the break of serve midway through the second set. 3-2. They lead. It's juice on the Inglot serve, and there's a really cheeky return.
Again,
Bryan, backhand down the line winner.
Yeah, again, that backhand return. Inglot going to the strength of the Bryan brothers on the big point. Someone didn't get the memo.
Great point. My father, the backhand return into the net. Well saved, well served Dom Inglot.
I thought he had that. He struck it. It looked like he was already jumping up and down like he thought he hit a winner, and then it just fizzled out on him. Fleming was covering the ball. It would have been a good point. It's a great serve by Inglot there to save the break point.
So we're back to Bryan with a chip return. It's over Fleming's head. Inglot will have to play the backhand back at Bryan. Now Inglot with the forehand onto the Bryan forehand. What's gone wrong? That was a baseline rally. We haven't had too many of those in this match. It is a joy to be able to describe doubles, even if the pace of play means that it's impossible to describe every single shot. It is a wonderful, wonderful game, which doesn't get enough attention from all of us, I guess. The combination of singles is so evident. Good volley Fleming wins the game for Great Britain, and after saving the break point, it is 3 games all in this second set. It's still very much in the balance. So we can see the empty bleachers in the background of Petco Park. You call all stands bleachers here, do you, Jeff?
Yes.
Yeah. 42,500 people inside Petco Park for baseball when it's full. Here, the temporary stand erected on left field on the ballpark, seating a maximum of 8,000. We're not far from that number today as we watch a fluky service return from Dom Inglot, an off-the-frame lob for a winner for Great Britain.
Well, he'll take it any way he can get it. Perfect shanky lob up the line.
We like our shanky lobs. Like Bryan serving, he's got 15 down. Good return from Fleming. Now Inglot with a volley into the net. Half chance missed there for the 15.
Yeah, you can see Inglot's best results are on hard court and fast surfaces. He's trying a lot of volleys that you just shouldn't be trying on clay.
So 15 all. Bryan serves, Fleming with another mishit backhand return. Inglot, I should say. He's earned 2 points for Great Britain in very similar fashion.
Well, Fleming says, geez, I'm going to try that.
It's the only way to beat the Bryans. And it's 15-30. Jim Courier in his super purple tie today will be feeling a little bit less content with with life right now.
Well, if you don't know where the ball's going, the Bryan brothers don't know where the ball's going. I'm sure that's what Inglot's telling him. Let's just keep trying to shank the ball.
Brilliant guy. Brilliant plan. Cunning master plan. Dressed up by Lee. 15-30 down. Second serve, Mike Bryan. He makes the volley. Inglot drives the ball back at Mike Bryan. And Fleming misses as he tries to go down the line with the forehand. And he knows that was a great opportunity.
Yeah, a natural play court player there would have tried to go around the Bryan brothers. He would have gone over them with an inside-out lob there. It was wide open. There was so much court in the back. Anyway, it's 30-all. Still a big point.
There have been fleeting chances, half chances every game for Brit. Mike Bryan serve. Into there, a forehand return from Inglot. Hit that far too cleanly. Got no chance if he hit it that well. Little bit of chat between the players. Hand signals from Bob Bryan. Puts it perhaps where his brother was expecting. It's 40-30 to the American. The lob from Fleming and the smash is the winner. From Bob Bryan, and the United States hold on again. Got interesting on their serve for a while. 30-2. Framey winners. Shanky, lobby winners. The first one from Dom Inglot. And it is 4-3 to the Bryans on serve in the second set here on 5 Live Sports Extra. They won the first set by 6-2. We should remind people of the views that we have here. We can see those bleachers sticking up above the temporary stand of the tennis arena that's being constructed here. We have plenty of office buildings. We also have people able to watch the tennis from the balcony of their flat. Somebody got in touch with at BBC Tennis a little bit earlier to tell us that they were doing exactly that. Office buildings around as well. The Sholey Brothers Candy Factory looks like it is no more. It looks like it's seen better days. Some of the windows are missing. Don't think they make too much candy in that building anymore. We have the numbers 6, 19, 31, 35, 51 and 42. Just above the backstop, the numbers of retired Padres players, some of the numbers that have been retired. We've also got a little bit of green ivy in the distance. It looks very Wimbledon-esque. And a giant scoreboard to our left. It really is massively impressive under one of the huge floodlights, which tells you exactly what the situation is in the match, which is the Bryan brothers leading Fleming and Inglot by a set to love. They won that 6-2, and it's 4-3 in set number 2. Flags fluttering in the breeze. One or two pom-poms on sticks being waved as well by somebody in a very enthusiastic, floppy Uncle Sam hat, the colours of the American flag in front of it. Forehand volley long from Inglot. So first point against the serve here with Colin Fleming, your server for this game on 5 Live Sports Extra.
So this is a big game right here. This is where they have to make a charge to get into a tiebreaker.
15 down, solid volley from Inglot. Fleming goes with the angled backhand volley, well retrieved by the Bryans. But Inglot makes no mistake, smashes that ball away for a winner.
That was a fantastic get off a great first volley by Fleming. The angle he got there, and how Mike Bryan was able to dig that out, but Inglot didn't give up that time. He was ready.
Fleming serving. Nice return there by Bob Bryan. The volley from Fleming is blocked.
A little bit tougher there to make that volley on the cross, on play. The footing not quite as good. So he's coming in at an angle there, Russell, instead of straight in. It's very dicey for the footwork.
I've never heard a chant, such a melodious chant of 15-30 before. So that's what the American fans were shouting, and there's a nervy first serve from Fleming. Far too much on that first delivery.
Well, 90% of the Americans that play tennis play doubles.
So they understand what's going on. Forehand return from Mike Bryan. Well, puts the overhead away. More of a high volley to set up 2 great points. Here in San Diego, Great Britain up against it in the doubles. Inglot and Fleming have lost the first set by 6-2 against the Bryan brothers in Davis Cup, and currently 2 break points down, 4-3 in the second.
Well, that was a big target, and the big man got hit. Can he recover?
15-14. 2 break points against Colin Fleming serve. And it goes down the middle and just misses. Otherwise, the call would have been 8. Second serve down, the first of the break points. Forehand return by Bob Bryan. And Inglot can't make the instinctive volley. Can't control the volley. It was hit back at him with such force. And the United States breaks through. The stars and stripes are flying. And they lead in this second set by 5 games to 3.
And they'll get new balls to try to consolidate the break and close out this second set. We've had several service games that have only taken a minute.
Yes, it may be quick. Bob Bryan serving for the second set. 2 centimetres and about 4 or 5 kilograms heavier than his brother. Nice stuck-up volley by his brother to win the first point for the Americans.
You know, that was a really good return, and it would have been a very tough low volley, but Mike knows when to get involved.
15 now. Bob missing with the first serve. Fleming is returning his backhand return onto Bob Bryan's forehand, and that's gone long. So a little bit of a let-off there for Great Britain.
Yeah, Bob a little nervous. He gets more nervous than Mike does, and his 2 first serves so far, and that time he served and stayed back, Russell, which you rarely see from the Bryan brothers.
First serve is good. The return from Inglot just wide. Did well there because the ball, the serve was coming into his body, got himself into a good position to play sort of a backhand poke, but steered it just wide off the sideline. 2 points away, the United States are taking a 2-set lead. Bob Bryan serves. Fleming's reply is a high one. Drive volley from the back of the court by Bob Bryan. The forehand into the net from Inglot. Two-set points, USA. Bob Bryan serves. 7,000 people rise as one to salute their men, their bankers, if you like, in Davis Cup. A match they have to win after James Ward's heroics yesterday to keep this tie alive is going very much the United States way at the moment as they lead by 2 sets to love. Already through to the quarterfinals of the World Group are Switzerland. No Federer or Wawrinka required today as Giudinelli and Lama beat Mladevic and Dimic in the doubles rubber to give Switzerland an unassailable 3-0 lead over Serbia. Germany also 3-0 up against Spain. Haas and Kohlschreiber beating Tedesco and Moreira in the doubles. And France through to having beaten Australia 3-0. Gasquet and Tonga beating Guccione and Hewitt in 4 sets in the doubles a little bit earlier. I mentioned the Argentina-Italy situation. The Czech Republic, the champions of the last 2 years, have come from behind and lead the Netherlands 2-1 after victory for Brit and Stefanek in the doubles. Kazakhstan leading Belgium 2-1 in Astana, and Japan, having won the doubles today, lead Canada by 2 rubbers to 1 in Tokyo. So there will be plenty to play for on the final day of these ties. I think you're going to be our commentator for the third set. I will assist you as ably as I'm able to until Mr. Tarango returns to the ballpark.
You're awfully kind. I think he's just wandered off to demolish a hospital. No, I probably don't want to know what he's looking at. Well, we're just underway in set 3 here. It's the set, of course, of the British pair, Dom Inglot and Colin Fleming, playing together for the first time, and it kind of showed in the first couple of sets. It's a set they've got to win. Keep alive their hopes of sealing this tie with a day to spare. That's looking highly unlikely right now against the highly accomplished and vastly experienced Bryan brothers, and it's Mike who's swatting away an easy overhead from right under the net. And already Fleming and Inglot under pressure right at the start of this third set. 15-30 they trail. There was half a chance, wasn't there, in that 7th game of the second set when there was a very makeable winner which went wide when they might have set up a couple of break points on the Bryans previously. Unthreatened serve. That chance went away.
And of course they were broken in the very next game, and that was basically the set gone. So an hour and 2 minutes of play here in Petco Park, San Diego, in the California sunshine. Still not particularly warm sunshine, but it is winter in these parts, as Fleming angles an overhead winner. Cross court. 15-30. It's 40-30. Absolutely vital, Russell. The Brits hold on to their serve at the start of this set.
Yes, they will battle for every single point. They will not believe this match is gone yet, and you just never know. Look at James Ward yesterday.
Absolutely. 2 sets to 1 down. 4-1 down at one stage. Set 4. A net break point at that stage.
Temperate very 5 times on the spin, but that's a fine backhand winner down the line from Bob Bryan.
And it's juice and pressure again on the Great Britain pair. Dom Inglot serving from the far end, wearing a white baseball cap. And 6 foot 5 inches of it. Big serve out wide. Bryan did well to get a racket on it, but then Inglot releases some tension there as he smashes away an easy ball.
Slam dunk from Big Dom. Big Bad Dom. 6 foot 5 inches tall. All the British support staff and the other players with their tracksuit tops off, watching them from the team bench.
There's another big serve and a big cry of come on from Inglot. That's a good hold, actually, because there was certainly pressure on there at 15-30, but they've managed to extricate themselves from that predicament, and the first game is on the board.
Luke Kaya, the LTA doubles coach, is here, as you'd expect, watching on. Simon Jones had a performance at the LTA. Shane and Joey, a couple of the physios. Roger the Stringer is here too, along with Doc Turner, who dispenses the pills should anybody require attention.
These are the facts you have to know, folks, if you ever aspire to be a correspondent for the British Broadcasting Corporation. The Bryans get their first service game of this third set. The set they hope will take the USA to their first point in this tie. It's the lefty Bob Bryan from the far end, serving from the court. Backhand return from Fleming. Then a rat-a-tat volley exchange between Inglot and Mike Bryan. And it's the Bryans who come out on top for 30 love.
Colin Fleming just about dug out the Yorker there, but it didn't really help him in tennis a great deal, did it? His stumps would have been intact, but unable to make the return.
Not easy to do so, but 6 foot 5 inches tall. Good serving again from the Bryans. It's been a feature of their performance today. They've looked super assured from the minute they've walked onto this slightly slippery clay surface, the least favoured of their surfaces, but they have won the French Open twice on the reigning champions at Roland Garros, albeit that that's a very different kind of clay, but that's an emphatic hold from the American duo to love, and the pressure straight back on Inglot and Fleming.
The Bryans certainly enjoy the slippy nature of the surface. Mike was saying the other day that you almost need spikes under your shoes to get your grip. But they were pretty excited about the prospect. And I think Dom Inglot, despite falling over in practice, was enjoying the prospect of coming out here. He said earlier in the week that he'd gone out there and threw down some rockets and had fun with it, but is wary of the ball coming back at you very, very fast, because it can be a bit of a match trick out there.
Nice rally at the start of the latest British service game, and Inglot certainly a bag of nerves, wasn't he, at the start with those back-to-back double faults. Understandable, his first taste of Davis Cup action. No doubt he would have woken up this morning thinking that there was every chance he wouldn't be playing. Or Murray took the decision that he'd rather rest up for the showdown with Sam Querrey tomorrow. A big occasion for Inglot, and he's certainly worked his way into this match. He's looking a lot more assured now. 15 love, Fleming serving from the near end. Forehand return from Mike Bryan is netted. And it's a good deal more competitive now than it was in the early stages, but you just sense that Bryans have a little bit too much at the moment. But first things first, the Britons have got to hold serve and then try and put some pressure on the American delivery. Fleming serving from forehand. Bob Bryan. But a strong volley from Inglot takes Britain 40 love.
It's certainly a little bit more time apart when they're not on tour.
the Bryans recently because Bob Flash is the baby. 35 years of age now, Russell. How many more years at the top do you think they've got in them? Well, it's 3 or 4 if they want it. Forehand here from Mike Bryan. Too good. Too much heat on it. But still a couple of game points for Colin Fleming. He looks to edge Britain 2-1 in front in this third set. First set lost 6-2 with 2 breaks of the Britain serve. Just a single break accounting for the second, which went 6-3 over. His first serve is in. Fleming straight at the net, but he doesn't have to play a volley because a very assured looking backhand from Big Dom got the job done. Britain hold to 15, and they lead by 2 games to 1 in the third set. They trail by 2 sets to 1.
They've spent so much time together throughout their lives, in the womb and growing up, playing together on court, training together on court, living in the same part of the world.
Just as well they like each other,
They make out very good cakes to like one another, that's for sure. But not just because Bob's become a father again, but just because living in slightly different parts of the United States. I think last year they were saying that they didn't spend quite as much time together, and therefore some of the time hitting together was slightly reduced. Didn't think it made much difference because if they haven't lost in the semi-finals of the U.S. Open, they may well have gone on to complete the calendar Grand Slam. But I think they're wary of that. They need to make sure that they do spend a lot of time together, even when they're not competing in tournaments. But first things first, family comes first, and Bobby Jr. was born just after Christmas, Bob Bryan's second child. I'm going to pass my microphone over to you, and you very kindly pass your microphone over to Jeff Durango, and we're ready to go, ready to continue on 5 Live Sports Extra with his third set.
There's this beautiful chairs in our open-air commentary box, but I haven't yet been told off for putting the players off or disturbing the umpires today. Still time, Jeff. Still time. Looking at my whispering, snooker-like commentary voice for the opening point of our 4th game in this third set.
Well, it's kind of nice for somebody else to get in trouble for a change.
Well, Jeff, I know you've got a lot of previous in that regard, but they still let you in. They're lucky, really. Big first serve from Mike Bryan. Forehand from Bob Bryan at the net. Backhand volley from Mike Bryan. The rally continues, and that excellent volley was out of the reach of Colin Fleming. Great reflexes from the Americans at the net there.
Yeah, just covering the court so well. That's that 2 bodies, 1 brain movement that you saw.
And there's a nice serve again, swinging into the body of the big frame Dom Inglot. He couldn't get out of the way in time to make the return. 30-15. Bryan's looking to level up at 2 games all. There's a lovely forehand winner right down the centre of the court. The Bryans have really got some momentum going here, and the crowd are responding. So 40-15. Still no break point opportunities for the British pair. American serve, but things can turn around. We saw that in spectacular fashion yesterday in the match between James Ward and Sam Querrey, when Ward didn't have a sniff on the Querrey serve. Set aside 4 sets and broke it 5 times in a row. And there's a wonderful reaction volley from the lefty, Bob Bryan at the net. And that's a pretty emphatic hold once again from the American duo.
Yeah, you just saw there, he didn't try to do too much with that ball. He stuck his racket out, just tried to touch the ball. Both players are back, so he had a lot of wiggle room there with it. He didn't have to hit a good drop ball, he just had to get it in that range.
And the Bryans are getting through their service games with such a rate of knots that they're immediately putting the pressure right back on the American, on the British pair, I should say, to do likewise. Already Dom Inglot into another service game, but that's a good first serve to get underway. 16 love, the serve is just wrong. Mike Bryan, and I think Dom Inglot may have broken a string there. He returns to his chair, sure enough. The racket comes out of the bag. But he has got a big delivery. He served well at times today. also looked a little nervous, understandably so. This is his Davis Cup debut against a partner he's unfamiliar with. It's a very steep learning curve for these guys against arguably the greatest doubles pairing of all time. Certainly that's the case in terms of titles won and records held. Something of a debate about whether standard of doubles in the modern era is as high as it's been in eras gone by. I know John McEnroe and his partner Peter Fleming have a different view about that, but it's a moot point as Fleming tries to put away a forehand volley, but the Bryans again alive to the danger. Now an overhead from Inglot, angle cross court is a winner. That was impressive play. Well, Britain have it all to do now. They're 2 sets behind against the Bryan brothers, the most successful doubles pairing in history, of course, and they've lived up to that billing thus far. They took the first set 6-2, with 2 breaks at the Britain serve. The second with a single break. We're on serve in the third. Dom Inglot and Colin Fleming have never played together before, and of course Inglot making his Davis Cup debut. A big occasion for him. He's looked nervous at times. He's certainly improved as the match has worn on, and they have just managed to hold serve. So we remain on serve in the third set, with Fleming and Inglot leading 3 games to 2, but trailing by 2 sets to run. So our 5 live listeners joining us there for a brief update as the players take some shelter from the sun under the umbrellas at the change of ends, and the support staff here in San Diego at Petco Park just give those lines a polish, removing the clay dust out of the way so that the umpire can clearly see the court. The players also assisted in that regard. Jeff, it's been just the performance that Jim Courier would have been looking for from the Bryans after disappointment from yesterday.
Yeah, they ran into some u.s.a. officials on the break there of the second set and asked them if maybe they could turn a couple pages back in the rule book and get Jim Courier out there to play the singles on the Sunday.
Well, he won the French Open twice. He won the Australian Open twice. He was runner-up at Wimbledon and the U.S. Open as well. One of the finest singles players of his generation, unquestionably Courier.
They said they'd look at the Davis Cup scribes from the late 1800s and see if they could find some kind of contingency to get the captain out on the court.
Do you think he'd play in that suit?
I don't know. Not with those shoes. He did lose the tie, though, from yesterday. That was a horrid tie.
Still dressed like a Wall Street executive watching the action. The sunglass-wearing Jim Courier, hoping that his American team can get it done in 3 here, which will set up quite a day tomorrow. The third and final day, the reverse singles, Andy Murray set to play Sam Querrey, and then should Querrey surprise Murray, and we've had a few surprises Tessie already in this event. And then come down James Ward, hero of the hour yesterday, against another Davis Cup debutant. It on young. What a great rally that was, and in the end the Bryans prevail again with Dom Inglot dumping a forehand into the net from the baseline.
No, it careened off Fleming's back. Oh, that ball hit him squarely, like the shoulder blade. He was trying to go around the Bryan brothers, and that's that lack of communication that makes such a big difference in doubles.
Yes, well, playing together for the first time, that was always going to be an issue. On the other hand, the Bryans know what the other is doing before they do it. So that was a good, confident winner from a British point of view. This game still in the balance on the Bryan serve at 2-3, 30 also. Just a chink of light. There haven't been many, have there?
No. There is a little bit. They've gotten to 30 all. This is the 4th time.
That's a big moment then. A good return from Inglot. What can Fleming do with this mid-court ball? Goes down the centre. And the Bryans can't handle the volley at close quarters with Inglot really powering on.
Oh, he's swinging out. He doesn't care who he hits, though. He hits Fleming to the point so that he just hit Bob Bryan there in the chest with that one. The gloves are off. He's not going down quietly, is he?
And this is a break point. A rarity indeed. What a chance here. Britain leading 3-2, and the first serve from Bob Bryan is long. Big moment. Crowd hush at the moment. Backhand return from Fleming down the line is a winner. And that is a break of serve out of the blue from a British point of view. It's game back on here. In the doubles, Fleming and Inglot leading by 4 games to 2 in the third set.
Courier out of his chair, almost taunting the Bryan brothers with his head pump and his fist pump.
Well, that was the first break point of the match for the Britons, wasn't it? And they've taken it 1-for-1 in style. Great winner from Fleming down the line.
That was a really good return off. Good first serve.
Wow. That's the first part of the job done. Now they have to consolidate it, and it's that man Fleming who has the opportunity to do so, serving from the near end as we look, high up here. It's Hetco Park, so that's a double fault. Not the start Fleming was looking for, and a bit to back up the break.
Yeah, that second serve was really lackluster. There was no pace on the ball whatsoever. 93, but it was dying out as it got to the net.
4-2. Block 15, Fleming serving from the ad court. There's a good volley that he picks up, a half volley from his shoelaces. Dom Inglot with a forehand off the top of the tape, but the Bryans were there to cover it. And Bob just slapped the winner down the centre of the court. Just for a moment it looked as though Britain might get out of jail there. After Fleming had done well to pick up the half volley off the service return, but it's love 30. That break serve that the Brits have worked so hard to achieve, in danger of being squandered here. Fleming, backhand return from Bryan. This time the follow-up volley is good from a British point of view. It's 15-30.
Well, a little bit of nerves here in the first point, trying to get what they think is enough to get a set on the board, and Inglot still in Fleming's way on that serve. Look how far over he is in that service box go.
Another big moment there. Fleming needs the first serve, he gets it. Backhand volley from Inglot. Fleming did well to stretch to his right hand side to keep the point alive, and then Inglot comes up with the backhand volley winner.
Great reaction there from the big man.
Well, he's beginning to enjoy himself out there. He was a bag of nerves at the start of the match, throwing those back-to-back double faults. Looked a little out of his depth, but he's really begun to warm to the task. It's 30-all, another huge point coming up then. Can Britain move 5-2 in front with that break of serve? Forehand volley from Fleming. Both British close to the net. Backhand volley down the centre. Inglot this time can't react though to the pace of the Bryan ball. And his forehand volley used wide. And it's a break back point for the Americans.
And you see there the Bryan was not trying to go around the British team, but straight at the head of Inglot. There's the target at the net the rest of this game.
And listen to the crowd willing their men to get back on terms here. 30-40. 4-2. Britain leading third set, trailing by 2 sets to love. And that's first serve into the net. Second serve. What can Fleming do with it? It's short. It sits up. Backhand volley from Fleming. Defensive block from Bryan, but he hit it all wrong. Is that going to clear the net? No, it isn't. Well, there's a rarity.
It's almost like he tripped as he was trying to hit that lob. And the glass man struggling a little bit, wondering what's going on. And he needs Bob to ground him. He needs him to be centered. If Mike falls apart, the team really struggled.
Crowd animated again. We're back at juice. 4-2. Britain leading with that break. Mistake. Break back point already. Backhand return. Forehand drop shot from Fleming. Bryan's in at the net. Backhand angle volley from Inglot, the winner. And it's a game point for a 5-2 lead.
This is where they have to make a play. They just get the ball high out of Mike's range, the forehand side, and then pick on Bob's net. Do not try to go repeatedly to Mike here.
Fleming looking for a big turn serve. Gets it. Out wide. It's too good. It's right on the line. And try as he might. Bob Bryan stretching out wide. Couldn't reach it. And Britain have saved the break back point. They've consolidated the break and they lead 5-2 in the third set in their bid to keep this doubles match alive. Well, we didn't see that coming, did we, Jeff? The Bryan's all conquering in terms of their serving, and then suddenly out of nowhere a break point. Terrific winner from Colin Fleming, and they backed it up.
Well, they put a few together, didn't they? And that's what it takes in doubles. You just have to put 4 points together, and that's each. They haven't had much success up until that point where just all of a sudden everything clicked for them. And now it seems like they're playing a brilliant match compared to what was going on before, and that's how quickly things can turn in doubles. It only takes a percentage here or there to get things going.
Well, it's certainly a shift in momentum here. It was beginning to look like a straight set this afternoon for Bob and Mike Bryan, the most successful doubles pairing in history with their 15 Grand Slam titles, 2 of them on the red clay at Roland Garros, including last year. But Britain, in the shape of the scratch pairing of Colin Fleming and Dom Inglot, has taken Andy Murray's place for this doubles rubber. Murray saving himself for tomorrow's singles. Have battled their way back into contention here. They're 1 game away from getting a set on the board and scoring it back to 2-1 behind. Backhand lob from Fleming is wide at the start of the Bryan's latest service game. Bryan serving down the centre on the stretch. Fleming backhand volley, forehand volley from the lefty for Bryan, and the second one was effective enough. 30 off. Brothers just conferring at the baseline there, and a little coded signal as well from Bob to his brother Mike, who serves the forehand of Dom Inglot. Tries to go down the line, but the ball catches the high part of the net and stays on his side. So 40 love. Bryan's not under pressure in this service game, having lost their previous one. They've only faced 1 break point in the match, and they lost it. And that's why Britain had a chance to win this set. Excellent opening serve there, though. Fleming on the stretch, can't reach it. And Bryan win game 8. So it's 5-3, but Britain now have the chance in the shape of Dom Inglot to serve out this third set. Can they do it, Jeff Duranga?
Well, it's going to come down to steely nerves, and like you said earlier, Phil, Inglot now is starting to really feel his oats out there, starting to feel like he belongs, and he's making game-changing shots, game-changing reactions at the net, where before he was just so cold up there and not really reacting. So if he can get his first serves in and Fleming can help him out a little bit with that first volley transition, they look good.
So, after a prolonged conversation between Dom Inglot and Colin Fleming, we're ready to go. Inglot from the far end, serving 4th third set to reduce the Americans' lead 2-1. Get this match right back in the melting pot. Second serve. Oh, it's a double faulty serve, back-to-back doubles right at the start of this match. And that was a nervy-looking delivery from the man from Britain.
You're already nervous in a pro match serving for a set, and when you couple it with your first Davis Cup tie, you just have to understand what Inglot's going through.
Needs the man to first serve. Got that one in, and the return is long from Mike Bryan.
Fleming thought about hitting that volley and correctly let it go, shadowed the ball, and went about 2 feet long. Great first serve.
Getting that first serve in, so important right now. Makes such a difference. Crowd hushed. 15 all, and he does nail the serve, and that's a good backhand volley from Fleming. And it's good enough. The attempted backhand from Bob Bryan. It's the bait.
He didn't try to do anything special with that ball, Fleming, and just poked it right in front of him like he should. And Bob not able to get the ball back at all.
30-15. Britain 2 points from the set, make it 1. That's an ace down the centre. Good serving from Inglot. He's recovered well from the double fault at the start of this game. 3 straight points for Great Britain. And after an hour and 26 minutes, 2 set points for Great Britain. Inglot out wide, it's an ace, then a clinch of the fist from Inglot, and a big cry of come on, and no wonder, as Dom Inglot and Colin Fleming take the congratulations from their captain, Leon Smith, standing just to the left of our umpire. It's game back on here. The Bryans in full control in the first two sets, but Britain have got the key break in the third, and they've closed it out, and they are back in the tie. It's 2-1, the Bryans lead over Dom Inglot and Colin Fleming. Could we be going the distance? Could we be in line for another extraordinary upset and another great comeback after the heroics of James Ward against Sam Querrey yesterday? Well, the Bryans remain the favourites, of course, but now they've got something to think about, Jeff, and I'm sure the way the match was going, right up until the midway point of that third set, they were feeling very good about closing it out in straight sets. Now, the pressure is back on them again.
Well, and it's really interesting how that kind of tension transfers so quickly. Jim Courier just became like a cat on a hot tin roof over there when they lost that break. Like, oh my goodness, what else can go wrong with my team? And his tension level, and you remember why Jim Courier retired, is because he couldn't take the pressure, couldn't take the tension anymore. It was just too much for him, and he showed signs of it just then. When the Bryan brothers took that set down, all of a sudden he's got his hands in his pockets, he's walking around, talking to the trainers, and wondering if there's anything that he can do to help his team. But that kind of energy transfers to the team, and you can take a great team and make them average by stressing them out.
Well, it certainly changed the dynamic out here. It was looking plain sailing for America to get right back in this tie, win this third rubber and close the deficit 2-1 after Murray and Ward won yesterday's singles. But now, at 2-1 up, it's a slightly different story. The Brits will be on a high. They'll feel as though they've got a bit of momentum going their way. They'll feel that much more confident about their chances of following up that success in this fourth set. So we're just about to get underway then for this key fourth set, and after a few more words from Jeff Tarango about how the Americans might restore the momentum that they lost there in the third, commentary will come from our correspondent Russell Fuller.
Yeah, and the Bryan brothers starting serving in the fourth set, and that's a key factor for them. They'll want to serve first, to keep the pressure on, to grab that momentum back that the British just took. And they clearly have the momentum. It's their jazz. Their whole box almost hurdled the barrier after they won that third set.
These Brits don't know when they're beaten. I still don't detect a James Ward-style victory here, but nobody could have called it yesterday, so why not?
It would be an extraordinary end to the tie, wouldn't it?
Well, with the way Jim Courier is fidgeting around, I think that he could affect it.
Well, this is the moment, as you were saying, to try and put the pressure on the States, because there will be some nerves now that Britain have won the third set. No sign of nerves from Bob Bryan at the moment. They're serving at 30 love, and there's Mike powering a smash away at the net to move to 40 love.
I thought it was really interesting there during the set break that Dave McPherson, the Bryan brothers' full-time coach, came out and confirmed with Courier and Berger on what the Bryan brothers need to be doing to get back this fourth set.
Yes, the man who knows them best, giving a bit of advice to the captain. Miscute backhand return from Fleming. Jim Courier immediately to his feet as the Bryans take the first game of the fourth set here on 5 Live Sports Extra.
Things can happen so fast in doubles if they don't want to take any chances.
Great to see Dom Inglot out there for Great Britain, Britain's #1 doubles player. It's tough to earn an opportunity as a doubles player, even in Davis Cup with Andy Murray around. The plan will be throughout this year if Britain make a run, and Inglot there serves an ace for Murray to play whenever he feels absolutely 100% fit, and particularly if the match situation requires it in the doubles. But Inglot certainly deserves his chance after his form over the last couple of years. He has 15 love, and he's trying to serve some of those rockets he was enjoying sending down in practice when he arrived here in San Diego. There you go, last Friday, fully 8 days ago. Brilliant exchange at the net. One there by the Bryans, rat-a-tat-tat at the net. And it was Bob who had the final say. defeating Colin Fleming in a close quarters duel. So, love 1 and 15 all. Big first serve from Inglot.
Huge serve. 135 up the middle on the line, so it skipped off like a hot rock on water.
That's the kind of poetry that we pay you for, Jeff. 30-15. Mike Bryan receiving second serve. Inglot forehand return from Bryan. Well played. On the stretch, Inglot cannot make the backhand volley. All. Pressure back on Britain, serving second in this fourth set, and needing to win both the remaining sets for a place in the quarterfinals of the World Group. Britain not beaten the United States since 1935 in the Davis Cup. 30 all. Second serve from Inglot. The volley from Fleming is long. A cry of anguish from Colin Fleming as soon as he played that shot.
A little bit of trouble here. Break point for the Americans. And Mike Bryan, Bob Bryan bouncing around a lot. Both back, and British will be playing I.
Mike has the break point on his racket.
That was a huge serve up the middle, 127. It just caught the net cord, so they'll be playing a let, and they're going to play I or Aussie doubles again. Bryan brothers are both back.
Bryan brothers back. Mike returning. Fleming with the volley into the net. A couple of volley errors from Colin Fleming. And the Bryans have the breakthrough in the second game of the fourth set.
Well, that's too bad for Fleming. It was a great serve, Inglot, and he took too big a swing. He was so close to the net that he didn't need to take a swing. He probably should have just been softballing it anyway, but the adrenaline took over.
Huge amount of work to do now for Great Britain as Mike Bryan sends down a big first serve and Bob Bryan makes the volley at the net. Two sets to one. They lead. 2 games to love. And 15 love. It's been a disappointing start to the season by their exceptionally high standards. Fleming with the mid-cue off backhand return. They were beaten in the third round of the Australian Open, almost unheard of, to Butterak and Klaassen, who went on to reach the final. And they also won just the one match of their warm-up event in Sydney. But plenty of time to make amends later in the season as Mike serves and just misses as he goes down the centre. 30 love, second serve. Inglot doesn't make a forehand return. So Britain have lost their timing a little bit at the moment after playing so well to win that third set.
So it seems that they liked the surface being a little faster. And now as the courts get watered down a little bit, it's a little bit slower, giving the Bryan brothers just a little more time to use their experience.
3 game points, double faults. Mike Bryan, the culprit this time.
Well, it was in the budget. That's what he'll say to his brother.
Yeah, they budgeted for that. And they probably budgeted for one more unforced error before it gets a little bit tight. 40-15, Mike serves, forehand return is lost. From Inglot. 3 love, the States lead. 3 games away from keeping this World Group first round tie alive. And they're looking solid on serve. Just 1 point dropped on serve in the only 2 service games of this set. And that was the double fault that we just described. So how is the Bryan brothers band? As we hear the band in the background, are they still playing together?
Yeah, I think they play occasionally. When they're on tour in New York, they play quite a bit. In Miami, they play a little bit, but I want to see them play at the San Diego Sports Arena.
This is with their rackets rather than with their drums and their keyboards.
Yeah, but I think they're going to mix in the band with that World Team Tennis venue that they just acquired.
Good idea. Mike is on the drums and the guitar. Bob is on the keyboard. And they're two very talented brothers. The band starting up, and the fans here taking their lead from them and trying to cheer the Bryans over the line. The victory in this doubles. Really imperious position they're in now at 3-love. Colin Fleming was ready to serve, but Henrik Molina asking people to take their seats first. Lots of people still walking along the gangways and the aisles, very close to Colin Fleming in the first few rows, just holding up the play from Fleming serve now, down the middle, good first serve, good return too, but they've been called back slightly belatedly. Fleming is serving from the commentary box end. There's forehand return from Bob, a really nicely positioned volley from Fleming. Wide of Mike and into the tram lines for a winner.
Well, that's the one thing of being down a break and feeling like you're kind of out of the match, is that you loosen up and you get back to that original play. And they're down one break, so let's say they were to take a charge and play well enough to win the set. They just need a break to get into a breaker.
That's what they need, and they won the second point of this game as Mike puts his forehand return into the net. They've enjoyed being around a baseball park and a baseball team, even though most of the players aren't here with spring training still a month or so away. Mike was suggesting they were exchanging rackets for bats with some of the players who are already in town. They are both LA Dodgers fans, though. Big rival to the San Diego Padres. A volley from Fleming, and a volley from Mike Bryan to win the point for the USA. San Diego Padres against the LA Dodgers is the first home game for the Padres. March 3rd. Looking forward to it already by the sounds of things, Jeff.
Go Dodger Blue.
Go Dodger Blue. Lots of Dodgers fans in the house. Lots of players. Lots of commentators. Fleming serves. Mike Bryan's forehand return just long. Just out over the baseline. We can almost hear what Colin and Dom are saying to each other.
You can't.
But not quite able to comprehend what the tactic was. 40-15. Fleming serves and wins the game. Service return is wide.
I like there that Inglot turned around and said to Clement, okay, now let's go. We're started. We might have started a little late, but like the hare and the tortoise, we just might catch them.
We've got them Flemglot, although I do like Jonathan over in Ingling. I think that's a classier suggestion. Ingling is a classier suggestion, but I think, would people know immediately who we were talking about? Whereas Flemglot gives you one or two more clues. We're thinking of long-term branding here, you see. We're thinking there might be a partnership for the ages we may discuss.
How about Flemalot?
That sounds like a Monty Python spoof. Arrangement, Chad. Whatever you say, it doesn't sound ridiculous. Refreshing or pleasing on the ear. 3-1. The Bryans in front. There was a 30-love on serve. Bob Bryan serving. That was a pretty violent point, even though it brushed the net. Inglot returned, and Mike flashed the smash into the clay. They look very alert now, the Bryans. Very eager to close out this advantage that they have. Inglot's forehand return. Just not quite stealing the ball on the racket strings right now, but they need to be playing perfect tennis.
Yeah, Steve just stopped a little bit there on that return. You got to keep them moving on clay no matter how off balance you are.
40-love. Bryan serves. 4-1. So, which of the two brothers is the more talented? Bob is more versatile, isn't he? He plays a bit of singles. He plays the his cup singles on a Sunday when the tie is over.
He's won more mixed doubles titles. I don't know whether you can read anything into that.
Well, Mike doesn't put as much into the mix because, like I said, he's glass man. He gets hurt a lot easier than Bob does. Mike is the anchor, but Bob is the judge. He gets a lot more play. He goes out, he does a lot more energy. And Mike's kind of, the drummer of the team. Just kind of make sure he's there when he needs to be there.
And that's why he plays the drum. There you go. Personalities reflected in their music as well as in their tennis. And they're in very, very good shape here in San Diego. 5 to 2 in the afternoon. Saturday lunchtime, moving into the afternoon. 5 to 10 back home with you in the UK, and you're with 5 Live Sports Extra. And Anne, who I mentioned a little bit earlier, over here, a British fan. At first slightly perplexed by our commentary, and then thinking that she enjoyed it. It's after very nice takeaway tray, a burger and fries.
Again, going straight at Inglot. Looking at the baseline, getting the first point to Bryan. With just really good heads-up, two-man back clay court doubles.
Love to see it on the Inglot serve. Anne's son lives in San Diego, she was telling me. Often comes over at this time of year and making the most of it. Made sure she was in town when the Davis Cup was in town. Big tennis fan. Often goes to the Indian Wells tournament, which is coming up in about 4 or 5 weeks. Great service return. That was fabulous. It wasn't a bad first serve by Dom Inglot, but it was a terrific return by Bryan. Mike Bryan, that is. Backhand cross-court winner. 30. Looking very serious for Britain now as Inglot finds the first serve. The chips returned by Bob. It's a lob. Confusion as Fleming leads it. Inglot takes it and doesn't need to play another shot. There's a half volley pick up and the Bryan goes lob.
A little bit of trouble here. If they're to go down 2 breaks, you might as well put the nails in the coffin. They need to really play their best stuff here on out.
Essential hold this for Inglot. 15-30 down. Bob with the chipped lob backhand return. Inglot lets it bounce. Smash straight at Mike. Takes defensive action. Somehow steers the ball back in play. Inglot plays the smash bounce on.
Well, 2 great lobs by the Bryan brothers there. One by Mike, and then a great spin off of 140-mile-an-hour overhead. And how Bob hooked that up, I don't know, but then he got way over him. Too far out from the tram line to go for that big third overhead.
So 2 break points for the Bryans for surely an impregnable 5-1 lead in this 4th set. Inglot is going to need a second serve here. He's had a word with Colin Fleming, who is now trotting back to his position just in front of the net, crouching down to avoid getting hit. Another of those chipped, floaty lob returns, very effective. Fleming will play the forehand himself. Now he'll play the backhand volley on the stretch. Bob goes straight to Inglot, who volleys back. Again, a good volley from Inglot. Mike tries to chase it down. He's got the lob back. Inglot under the smash. No mistake this time. And huge celebrations from the 2 players on court. Leon Smith and Andy Murray and co watching on the British bench.
So that was great scrambling by the Bryan brothers there. Great defense by the British pair to stay in this game. Hear what this crowd thinks about it.
Here's the case Dom Inglot needed reminding. Still a point down. He's robbed of his greatest weapon. First serve hitting the net, landing long. So, can Mike Bryan take this opportunity to drive the advantage home? Serve from Inglot, backhand return from Mike Bryan, a volley from Inglot, a volley into the net from Inglot. Both of them at the net have a time, let themselves down a little bit. That was another crucial miss. And the Bryans are flying, the United States are flying in San Diego. They lead this 4th set by 5 games to 1.
Well, there's still some brilliance out there, but really their volleys just failed them. And the close quarter balls, the volleys put too deep to the net. Netting too many of them, not playing it conservatively enough.
Mike
serving for a victory. Roberts put the smash into the net. Right on top of the net too. With his hands on his hips. He couldn't believe he played that shot. He couldn't believe he missed a chance to put the United States 3 points for victory. It is so hard that Enric Molina is down off his chair just to adjust the net to make sure that he's exactly the right place. It's indoor football. Looks like he's getting quite an ovation as he made his way back up into the chair. Maybe some of the women decided to open near few. Into the net, forehand, Fleming. 2 points from defeat now, Great Britain. The Bryan brothers totally in control. Sorry, 3 points. That previous match went into the net, didn't it? When it looked for all the money as if the point would be spent. Right, Bryan serves down the middle, and Ford will make the volley. Well, retreat by Inglot. He's being 6 foot 5 inches tall. Now he's in the forehand, into the net. Oh, that's frustrating. They were back in the point, Britain, and a very regulation forehand was dumped into the net by Inglot on debut.
Well, they're putting everything they can out there. It's good to the Bryan brothers really base their game in the last few minutes.
Yep.
They're not going to let this go.
No. They played a very, very good match to Bryan. So they deserve this victory. Colin Fleming with the return. Mike with the forehand volley. Inglot goes down the middle. The volley from the Bryan. Inglot goes cross-court. Great stretch volley from Mike Bryan. He'll play a half volley. He'll just chip it over Colin Fleming's head. He'll hit the baseline. The lob from Inglot. The challenge now from Colin Fleming, who's pointing to the mark. Enric Molina's coming down off his chair to confirm that the ball was out.
Well, the Bryan brothers are saying that the line person is supposed to show them where the mark is. If you can't just go down and just say, oh, that's where the mark is, you should confer with the line person. And technically, the Bryan brothers aren't supposed to be arguing with the chair umpire. And Jim Frater's not getting involved at all. Give that a chance.
It's one of the best umpires on the tour. A lot of respect there. I don't know which voice we have there.
It wasn't us, it wasn't Jeff, it wasn't me.
It sounded like Mark Knoll
from the tennis channel, I imagine, because we're borrowing their effects feed here this week. 30 all, they're still 2 points away. Not really, you don't think, worth getting hot under the collar about.
Oh, adds to the drama.
We loved it. 30 all. Forehand return from Inglot. Into the net. Match point for Bryan. Match point for the United States. Just a word of warning, Jeff, I've got to go and do the on-court interviews. So you may be holding the court for a little while.
All right.
Finish start is imminent.
Don't get bumped around down there.
I'm going to have to do a chest bump with the
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just stay away from that chest bump. You get sandwiched.
It's a dangerous place to be. Great noise in San Diego. Fabulous performance from the Bryan. Match point to keep his Davis Cup tie alive. Mike is serving. The backhand from Colin Fleming. The volley from Bob. 2 volleys. And a huge chest bump from the twins. Celebrating victory. Comprehensive victory. Well done to the Brits for coming back and hanging in there and winning the first set. But the Bryan brothers have done what their captain Jim Courier expected. They have won the match, and it means that this Davis Cup World Group tie is still very much alive going into the final day.